Welcome to another edition of Leap Forward podcast with Riesterer Schnell. I'm your host, Bo Duracek, Strategic Solutions Manager. And today we're having a little bit different format. We're stepping out of the field and away from the technology to talk about people and their importance to our business going forward. So today, guys, I'll just have you introduce yourself quick and then we'll get into our conversation. Go ahead, Reed.
So I'm Reed Peter. I've been with Riesterer Schnell for 5 years, 2 years in high school and 2 years in college, and have been in the service technician role for the last 2 years.
Okay. Ethan.
Ethan Jost did the same thing Reed did. Started junior of high school, went through senior year, and then did the 2 years at NICC. And in total, been with the company for 4 years now, and then been graduated this May. So,
Lucas.
My name is Lucas Geyser. I started here when I was junior in high school. Now I'm a freshman in college, sophomore in between. But at NICC, Riesterer Schnell helped with sponsoring, and I have about a semester and a half left in the program.
Excellent. Jason.
Yeah, I'm Jason Knainer. Been with Riesterer Schnell for 23 years. I actually went through the same program as these gentlemen did. It's the John Deere program, but it was actually down in Madison, Wisconsin, which is no longer.
Sure.
Then I did wrenching for a bunch of years. I'm not going to break it down. Then moved into service writer to service manager, and actually right now I'm in the knowledge center.
Reed, let's start with you. What kind of got you interested in the agricultural business of Riesterer Schnell?
So I guess as a kid, I was always fidgeting, working on small engines, vehicles, anything that had wheels and could move. I was wanting to work on and do something with. And then slowly as I grew up, I milked cows for a little bit, figured out that wasn't something I wanted to do, and just had an opportunity where I could start here as an intern and work under some of the technicians here in Chilton, and it worked out really well. And I figured out I enjoyed what I was doing and took that a little bit further and got into NICC and was the first student in there trying to figure out how the program was, and ended up figuring out it was an awesome place to be with a lot of good teachers and instructors that would further my education to be a better technician in the future.
Excellent. Well, we appreciate that. That's for sure. Ethan, tell us a little bit about your journey.
so growing up, grandpa and dad's got a restoration business that obviously need parts to restore tractors, old tractors.
Yep.
And I always came in the showroom and stuff and got parts with dad and grandpa, and always thought, and then the main tractor we have at home is green. So coming in, getting parts in the scene, that's pretty cool to see. And then the YA kid person at school was like, Ethan, did you know you can go to school and then leave half of your day and get paid to go to work? It's like, oh, really? And
Who doesn't love that?
yeah, yeah. And started looking around at different options, local businesses around the area, and obviously all depends too, because you're coming in at a different time, not like business always, because they're flexible with school and everything. I ended up talking to Riesterer Schnell and gave me a job offer and started the apprenticeship, and continued through with the NICC John Deere Tech program and graduated now full time.
Excellent. Well, we're glad to have you. Lucas, how about a little bit about your journey?
Yeah, my journey is a little bit different than these two. I'm a city kid. I didn't grow up on the farm, but my dad worked for some farmers for his whole life. He got a farm growing up, so he kind of got me interested in the equipment, and I don't know if I wanted to drive equipment or work on it. So I decided once junior year, end of sophomore year actually, decided, hey, let's go to Riesterer Schnell and see what it has to offer.
Sure.
So I had a job offer, got the job, and I've been here ever since and love wrench on equipment. So now I'm currently in NICC and I'll graduate this May. So
That's awesome. I think it's important too to note that, he wasn't a farm kid. And as our family farms start to dwindle away, and kids go off and do other things in the world, where there's less and less farm kids to come to work for companies like us. So we're really happy to hear that there's other people out there that can still fall in love with the career that we share. And we can still find some people that don't have a farming background. So for anybody who's watching or listening or knows somebody who might be looking for a career, be sure and tell them about us. And there's you don't just have to be a farm kid to do what we do here. Jason, you've had an interesting career path. Let us know about that. Way back when you started.
Well, yeah. So I guess
Way back.
we were talking to the Reed here, Ethan. kind of the same scenario. I mean, I actually was on a small family farm, and the writing was on the wall there. So I would have, in those couple of years, I would have said, well, I'm farming. I wouldn't be farming. I'm not doing any of this. Well, these didn't work out, so we had the auction, and essentially the same program had existed back then. Maybe just getting started, but there was YA, so I did a work experience program and the same thing. And
YA youth apprenticeship.
apprenticeship, we work back with the school. So gave me a couple hours to come here early and get out of school. For some of us, and then, well, once I started here, it's same as you guys, came to find out that there's a program. Again, same program. It's a John Deere sponsored program that I went through. There are some other programs that we would support students or future employees in. Fox Valley has one, an ag program. And we do have some across the organization. We have a couple people that are in that program as well. That program, I think there's, get off course here a little bit, but talking about the two programs, the John Deere program, that's a 2-year associate's degree program, right? So when you guys go to that, you're really involved, right?
Right.
All day.
Yep.
All day. The nice thing is the program has work experience even after you're in college now. Like you were in work, he's currently in one of his work experience. You guys have graduated already, but so he comes back, out of the 2 years that they're in school, he comes back for
Total of 6 months.
total of 6 months. So usually it's in the spring he gets a section, and then in the fall he gets a section.
Basically a semester on at school.
Yep.
And half a semester back here learning in the busy times when you can get the most experience out of your time back here at the shop.
Yep. Spring plantings, harvest, things like that. Yep.
Kind of lost where I was going with it.
What were you had talking about when you started and coming out of your schooling, and then
But with the Fox Valley compared to an RTC program.
Right, that exactly. So, but I wanted to talk about that because, you didn't want to do a 2-year program, which is a little bit more involved, because there you're going to take some of your more classic classes as well with that, because it's an associate's degree program. If you person didn't want to do that, there's options at Fond du Lac where that's more of a technical diploma, right? So when you go to school there, it's going to be a 1-year program.
Sure.
And basically your focus is on the equipment, right? And things like that. So gives a couple options. I know that these guys have done wonderful in the John Deere program, but I'm not discrediting the other program at all. Just that it's an option.
Sure.
And like you guys have, I had the opportunity, Riesterer Schnell sponsored that.
Yep.
Tuition.
Okay.
And books. Now
What we do off of that.
Yep. So
when you first started, came out of there, I know you were working on various items. When you came out of school, what did you start working on right away?
Oh, yeah. So when I came out of school, it ended up being forage harvesters. Probably not because I was excited about forage harvesters per se. I was a horsepower gal, right? So if you go into the dealership at that time, where were you going to find your biggest engine? In a forage harvester. So that's why I wanted to work on those.
Right.
But it snowballed into enjoying them, working on them a lot.
And being good at it. Don't sell yourself short. This is darn good at it.
I was okay.
Yeah.
But then to that too, another opportunity came about while I was with Riesterer Schnell here, which kind of feel bad about sometimes, but I think it was a good experience. Probably for all of us, I think it ended up being good. I had opportunity to go west and actually work on the development when they were bringing the 7000s into production, actually a little after they were into production, but so that was good. I did have.
It's a really neat experience thing for what you were doing here at Riesterer Schnell. Obviously somebody noticed that from John Deere and said, hey, we should get this guy I'd like to be part of our team to help develop the new machine. So that's pretty neat honor.
Yeah. I asked the questions when the test machine was here.
Yeah.
Just actually call.
Sure.
But yeah, that was really, really something. And then I came back and went back to, because I was wrenching, and I went back to wrenching when I came back for that. And then moved up to some other job, service writer, service manager.
Sure.
So
cool. So Reed, when you're back now, right? You graduated.
Yep.
And so what do you like to work on?
I actually focus a lot on forage harvesters myself too. just from past experience in high school and during my apprenticeship through college, I worked under another tech that was big into forge harvesters, and I kind of followed his lead in that. Sure, it's been a big part in my career.
So when you came out, did you just immediately start being the forage harvester guy, or did you start working on KPs and setting up hay heads and things like that?
Yep. I worked on a lot of setups and set up corn heads and hay pickups and get all that stuff ready. And it's just slowly rolled into being more technical with it and diagnostics. And it's cool. Awesome.
Yeah, I've been hearing some good things about you. Good job. Thank you. What do you like to work on, Ethan?
I kind of followed the same path as Reed, but I took a little twist.
Okay.
So all through high school, I kind of was always helping with the choppers, doing $1,000 services, cleaning KPs, all the hay heads and corn head setups, and chopper setups. But then during my OJT, which Lucas is on now, my first one, I stick mainly to forage harvesters. And then the second one, other tech offered the opportunity to go on with him, and he's one of the main tractor guys here in Joe.
Okay.
And then from there, going to Jordan, he works on a lot of different things. For one example, I work on a fire pump up in the warehouse, up in Fox Valley, to just big tractors, little tractors, and kind of took a little turn and got into the engines more and the diagnostics. And
a lot of times, sometimes people don't understand that if something is not maybe a John Deere piece, but it has a John Deere engine in it, we get called to work on it. And I see that a lot of times where we have something that doesn't have green and yellow paint like behind us, but also it has a John Deere engine in it, and we're working on that. So that's another good thing you brought that up, Ethan. Good point. Very good point. Lucas, what do you like working on?
Well, everything pretty much. I mean, I really haven't through my high school. I wasn't here for YA program. I didn't really work on just one certain thing. I grew in planters, choppers, combines, mergers, sprayers. My first OJT, mostly choppers, like service and repairs. And the OJT I'm on currently, I've been mostly combines, everything. Setting new ones up, fixing old ones, setting heads up. Start out with first customers, so all over the board.
What's your favorite?
Tough question. I don't know.
Like it all. That's good. Yeah, we need that for sure. Do either of you three go out on the road yet, or are you still mainly in shop, or how is that working right now?
I'm on the road quite a bit. I guess with having some of our techs that have had to go out and help different stores, it's been kind of brought down that some of us younger techs need to step up and start going out. And I feel NICC has prepared me well enough for that, and I'm comfortable going on the road and having that interaction with customers and being able to fix their issue and get them back up and running.
Ethan, how about you?
during the OJTs, the first one I was in the shop mainly, second one was on the road with him all the time. And that kind of helps you kind of understand what going on the road was. And then since I'm back to school, I got back and I was inside the shop for a little bit to get, keeping the ground again.
Sure.
And then I spent a lot of time on the road looking at tractors and stuff like I wouldn't move. And then that's where it was nice having the NICC experience, because one of the projects we did, we had to wire up a Tier 3 9-liter and build the whole entire engine harness and understand how the controllers talked and stuff. That's one of the problems, is that with that tractor, it wouldn't talk and stuff, so it kind of knew what to look for and what to,
Lucas?
It's probably a mixture of both. Like for my first OJT, when I go on the road, I'm not by myself yet. Obviously, I'm with a senior technician, so that's nice. I get to get my feet like kind of wet and see how on the road life is, and meet some make customer base and stuff like that.
Sure.
So and then I've been like this OJT, I've been in the shop, and I think looking at it, NSCC has really prepared me for if I'm going to be in the shop or on the road. It doesn't really matter.
Sure. If so just to let people know that when you first start, if you would start out like these young guys, you don't necessarily have to go on the road right away where they throw you into the fire, so to speak. You can get established by working on things in shop with a little bit more of a schedule versus the fight or flight out to the field where things might be broke down. So these guys all had kind of a start when they started inside the shop working on things together with a mentor. And so we don't just send you in a truck and put you out in the field and have to diagnose things that you don't understand. So just wanted to let you guys know that that's a possibility for you guys to be able to work with a mentor, work in more of a scheduled environment. And then once you get more up to date with everything, then you get kind of put on the road and seeing what's life's like out on the road as a technician, right?
Yep.
Given your experience so far, Reed, what are you looking forward to the future?
As a technician, learning more every day, always getting more familiar with everything, honestly, and just being able to be one of the top techs to be able to solve issues when needed. And I feel like I'm going in the right path with that, and with support of other technicians.
I would agree with you. You're on the right path.
Ask your help when you need it.
And one of those things that we do too for some of our like sprayers and combines and planters, we have those round tables where the group of people come through from all of our locations to talk about issues that happen in planting or harvest and how we react to them and how John Deere has fixes for them. So we're always learning, we're always getting better, and always trying to be better for the next season.
Yeah.
Ethan, what's your future look like?
Excited to expand onto the, like what Reed said, expand on choppers, get to know more of them, and I know quite decent up to them, but there's still always stuff to learn and get into the more technical stuff, like when something is pretty bad, where to
How
start,
to diagnose it, right?
where to start,
Problem solving.
like go through it in a step-by-step basis, kind of, instead of just, oh my gosh, something's broke, what are
Sure.
you're
Yep.
freaking out. And also, one of the tractor scientists in general, get better at diagnosing and just expand my knowledge a lot.
Excellent. Lucas.
I'm excited for the rest of my finishing at my degree at NSCC, because when I go back, it's mostly engine stuff, and sure, I haven't worked on engines much at all. So I'm excited to learn a lot. I'm sure I'm gonna learn a lot and hopefully be prepared when I come out, when I graduate, and be a success.
Until these things are electric, we're going to need engines.
Yeah.
Right? Yep. Well, from my vantage point, the future is bright at Riesterer Schnell. If you're interested in a career at Riesterer Schnell, please don't be afraid to ask any one of our people on our podcast today or any other employees at Riesterer Schnell. They'd be happy to tell you about all the career opportunities we have. You can stop at our website, rands.com, to see other job positions that are open. And that's it for this edition of Leap Forward Podcast with Riesterer Schnell. Thank you very much.
We're your John Deere dealer coming through for you, Riesterer and Schnell.